So in the Book of Boba Fett, if you watched it, towards the end of this series, there's a part where Luke has Grogu on a planet and he's training him in the Force. Do you know why he chose that planet to be where he built his temple and trained Jedi? Well, I just found a article that discusses it, and I thought we could go into a deep dive and look at why Luke decided this planet would be a good place to build his temple and train Jedi. So let me pull it up. Star Wars Legends reveal why Luke Skywalker really built his Jedi Order on Ossus. Luke Skywalker chose to base his new Jedi Order on the planet Ossus, and the reason is hinted at from Star Wars Legends. Luke Skywalker's Jedi Order was first seen in flashbacks in Star Wars The Force Awakens, but it wasn't until the Book of Boba Fett, set decades earlier in the timeline, that viewers got to see it. Ironically, this placement in the timeline meant viewers weren't introduced to any of the members of Luke's Jedi Order. The planet itself went unnamed, although apparently it was referred to in the scripts as Ossus. Adam Christopher's novel Shadow of the Sith finally confirmed Luke's Jedi Temple was based on Ossus, a delightful homage to Star Wars Legends. And this could actually be the key to Luke's restoring the Jedi Order, explaining how he found so many potential recruits. Luke's temple and academy on the ancient Jedi planet Ossus actually contained information that directly led to the eventual defeat of the Sith. In Legends, the planet Ossus was home to a race known as Yasana, survivors of a cataclysmic supernova caused by the destruction of the Kron cluster during the Great Sith War. Many Yasana were descended from Jedi who had been stranded on the planet and had been studying at Ossus's ancient Great Jedi Library. George Lucas always imagined that some races would be strong in the Force, and the Yasana, who had developed a warrior's culture, were one such example. They were introduced in Tom Veitch and Cam Kennedy's Dark Empire back in 1992. The Yasana still exist in the current Star Wars timeline. While the Yasana's Force sensitivity was rooted in ancient traditions, their skills were raw and unrefined. Luke saw an opportunity to mold these individuals into full-fledged Jedi, integrating their unique perspectives into the order he was rebuilding. Interestingly, the Yasana are also mentioned in Nexus of Power, a canon source book, which means they still exist in the current Star Wars timeline. Luke's decision to establish his Jedi Academy on Ossus was not just a homage to the ancient Jedi. The presence of the Yasana on Ossus gave him a head start in recruiting Force-sensitive individuals who were already attuned to the planet's mystical energies. These warriors, with their deep connection to the Force and survivalist mentality, were the ideal candidates for the new Jedi Order Luke envisioned. The Yasana provided Luke with the perfect recruits. Force-sensitive, resilient, and deeply connected to their homeworld, he's confirmed to have discovered ruins of the Great Library there too, securing at least one of his sacred Jedi texts, allowing Luke to learn from the past. What's more, the Force Vergence on Ossus was surely something Luke wanted to study. Charles Soule and Will Sliney's The Rise of Kylo Ren miniseries strongly implied that it was Palpatine who destroyed Luke's temple, striking when Luke was unconscious, beaten by Ben Solo. This revelation raises questions about Palpatine's immense power, but the answer lies in Ossus itself. According to Nexus of Power, Ossus had been scarred by past battles between the Jedi and the Sith, leaving the planet highly susceptible to dark side energies. The mere presence of a powerful darkness on Ossus could generate a massive force storm, and Palpatine used this against Luke. There is an irony then that Luke chose to base himself on a planet rich in the Force because it had so many Force sensitives there, and Palpatine then used the same vergence against him. What's more, this also explains why Kylo Ren believed he was responsible. He assumed the planet was reacting to the darkness within him, the same darkness he believed had provoked Luke into attacking him. In reality, it was Palpatine's influence amplified by Ossus itself, yet another Star Wars tragedy. So I thought that was really interesting, and now it makes a lot of sense why he went to Ossus. And I'm wondering if the Yasana were still on the planet even after the Jedi Temple got destroyed and Ben Solo escaped. I think he murdered some of the Jedi that were there on the planet when he escaped. I'm sure there were some that escaped themselves. It'd be neat to have a deep dive into that. I just think that it was really cool in the book of Boba Fett when they showed the planet and they had Luke training Grogu, and it showed the temple being built by all those robots. That would be really neat to have a series, a Luke Skywalker series, to bridge the gap between that and the sequels. Even though I'm of the persuasion to have the sequels not canon, but I'm not Disney. I wish they'd listen to me, but I hope you enjoyed the deep dive. I thought it was super cool, and if you like this video, you should check out this video. There it is, right there. It talks about Luke Skywalker and if he really destroyed the Death Star. Check it out. I bet you'll like it. May the Force be with you always.